started, everyone. Have quiet. Going to get started, please. Thank you. Welcome to the special board meeting, excuse me, of the West Basin Municipal Water District for February 26, 2025. It is now 2:45 p.m. And teleconference option for public participation. I am calling this meeting to order. And I will ask Mike Stewart to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So please.
All right, everyone, please stand. Face the flag. Say with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Determination of quorum. Mr. General Manager, would you please call the roll?
Director Desi Alvarez.
Here.
Director Scott Houston.
Here.
Director Don Deere.
Here.
President Gloria Gray.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Item 3, public comment. General Manager, do we have anyone who would like to make comment from the public?
Yes, Madam President, we have received numerous requests for public comment from those in attendance here at the meeting. We do have a podium up at the front. I know that it's somewhat crowded, so I'd ask as we call your name, if you could please step forward and make your way to the podium. In fact, we'll have our board secretary actually call 2 people at a time so that we can have somebody backed up. All public comments are limited to 3 minutes. So there will be a timer here in the front. At the conclusion of 3 minutes, we'll politely let you know exactly the time available. We also have numerous people joining us virtually. If anybody would like to make public comment that is joining us virtually, please indicate so by raising your virtual hand and leave it raised. Once we conclude all of the public comment from those in attendance in the room today, we'll make our way to our virtual attendees to see if there are any additional public comment. And of course, those virtual public comments will be limited to 3 minutes as well. So with that, Madam President, I'm going to have our board secretary begin the introduction of public comments.
So first for public comment, if we could have Mr. Michael Stewart with Mr. Godfrey Wachira next.
Okay. Well, good afternoon to this full house. I like seeing all our people as we do business in our community. First of all, I'm Michael Stewart. I'm a 44-year resident of the Carson community. More than 45 years, and I was 22 years old, maybe 15 years old when I started, and years of experience in public sector, specializing in political, governmental, and public services. I served as president and CEO of M&B Communications, which is a land use consulting firm, and I volunteered for 5 terms for 15 years as vice chair of the Carson Chamber of Commerce, dealing with economic development with this vibrant community, Carson. I've been a deputy city councilman, the 15th district, in the city of Los Angeles. I was administrative officer with CAO's office in the city of Los Angeles under Tom Bradley, and 3 more mayors where we ran the budget for the city. And I was the facilities manager for 789 buildings of the city. I didn't do it myself. I had a basketball team. I had 15 great leaders who were under me, and we ran it like a basketball team. We ran 3,089 employees of the city. I'm here to speak in behalf of Thomas Pave, a 45-year resident of Carson with great relationships and experience, which will benefit the West Basin Water District to address issues such as infrastructure, maintenance, conservation, and sustainability, and critical funding. They think about that, critical funding. In my consulting practice, which I am very happy to have, I was involved with this journeyman with the experience and labor organization skills. I always would work with labor as I brought in developers and consultants for business. Not only in other places like Inglewood, city of LA, the county, and also in the other cities. I'm that consultant guy that does the meeting, the planning, entitlement zoning. I'm that guy. But I always found you got to have labor to go along with what you want to do. They bring in the training and the visible activity for our community. In conclusion, I support Thomas Fave's talent. I want him to be on this board. I support him for that. And he will bring positive activity to you. By the way, catalytic development is what we want. We want sustainable development, especially for me out here in Carson, but also for this whole region. I thank you for all of this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No.
No.
Godfrey Washira.
That's all right. That's all right.
Hear me? Okay. My name is Godfrey Washira.
All right.
Can I have, please respect the speaker.
Let me start again. My name is Godfrey Washira, and I'm with Californians Allied for Responsible Economy, better known as KRCA. And we believe in development that benefits everybody. We really do believe that when people see themselves in their leaders, that institution does thrive. Because at that point, they believe that their voices will be heard, that their concerns will be addressed, and that things will be done for the benefit of everyone. And I think in Tommy, you will be adding one more board member who reflects the community. Our organization, plus me personally, I've interacted with Tommy for quite a long time now. And I've known him, and we've always known him to be somebody who puts the community first, who always looks out for the community. I know if he gets into the board, he's someone who's going to listen to the people. I know he's somebody who's going to interact with the people. I know he's somebody who's going to put the community first in the decisions that he's made, because we've seen him do that, especially in his environmental justice work. With what he's done a lot with workforce development, which is one area we have a lot of interest in. Tommy has been a great friend and a great ally. He's brought in so many residents into, career changing pathways. You can see it with all the labor guys that have shown up here in support of him. He's just been a top solid guy, and I'm 100% so sure that if you bring in Tommy on board to become a board member, it will be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And you can sit back, chill out, knowing that you have a true ally of the labor that's going to come on board. So with total faith and conviction, I urge you to give Tommy, our brother Tommy, the chance to serve in this board. Thank you very much.
Mr. Hector Delgado, followed by Mr. Ernesto Medrano.
Good afternoon, Madam President, members of the board, our distinguished delegate, our distinguished candidates, and all our guests here this afternoon. My name is Hector Delgado. I am the political director for Teamsters Joint Council 42, representing over 150,000 workers throughout Southern California. And today, I am proud to stand before you in support of our brother Tommy Fave, who has decades of experience in making sure that employers thrive, and at the same time, making sure that employees are protected and have the necessary means to advance, not only on the workplace, but in our community. Tommy is a dedicated member of the community that stands for all the things that labor brings to the table. And we know that he's going to be an asset on this board. And again, I strongly urge you to consider and appoint our brother Tommy Fave as the next board of directors for the West Valley Mesa Basin Municipal Water District. Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon. Members of the board, executive staff, brothers and sisters, members of the community. My name is Ernesto Medrano, and I'm the executive secretary for the Los Angeles and Orange Counties Building and Construction Trades Council, representing 160,000 hardworking members, about 22,000 apprentices, which I'm proud to say, we have more apprentices in our jurisdiction than any other state in the nation. We are committed to training, and a lot of that work is because of the affiliates and a lot of the hard work about the individual I'm about to speak about. You know, some people run or get appointed because they want to be somebody. Other people get appointed or run for office because they want to do something. Tommy Fave is here because he wants to do something. He doesn't just want to be somebody. Tommy has served this community for many years, whether it was at the city level in various commissions or committees. But more importantly, obviously, I've known him in the capacity of being my brother and a colleague at the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Tommy is very, very much committed to helping others. The programs that we do, and I want to thank you, I want to recognize the partnership that we have with our community workforce agreement, which, you know, Tommy has been very instrumental in having us negotiate. I know we're going through renegotiating that agreement, and I'm very excited about getting that done. Having said that, the work that we do in our agreements is to really provide opportunities for pathways to the middle class. We want to provide young men and women that aren't going to go to college and get that four-year degree through the apprenticeship program. And Tommy symbolizes everything that stands for. So with that said, I'm not going to belabor a lot. I know there's a lot of good comments have been said and will be said. I strongly urge you to appoint Tommy Fave onto your commission, to your water district. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zishan Pasta. I am a resident in the city of Torrance, as well as an El Camino Community College student. I'm here in support of Tommy Fave, not only due to his exceptional work in the union movement, but in the community as a whole, which is why I believe he is perfect for this position. Thank you.
All right. Greetings and good afternoon all. President Alvarez, esteemed directors, friends, colleagues. My name is Pastor Zach Strosters. I'm the Community Outreach Associate for Creed LA. And I want to just speak to the character of one of my good friends and someone that always puts a smile on my face, Tommy Fave. First and foremost, he's a lifelong Carson resident. He's a native of the area. I actually minister in Carson off 223rd Street. And I can tell you that there's a life and there's a vibrancy to the community in Carson. And I can tell you that Tommy Fave represents the best that Carson has to produce. 25 years in IBEW Local 11, where he represents over 11,000 members as a business development manager. He's an establishing member of ARCHES, the Alliance for Renewable Clean Hydrogen Energy Systems, and he's helped to secure $1.2 billion for that organization. He's also a member of the Zero Roundtable and Collaborative Committee member, helping Long Beach and therefore all of the South Bay achieve carbon neutrality. He's been appointed by the LA County Federation of Labor, AFL-CIO, as a rep for the LA 2028 Sustainable Working Group Committee. He serves on the Pacific Gateway Workforce Development Board. He served on Carson's Environmental Public Works Commission, and he's a member of the Asian Pacific Labor Alliance and Samoan Heritage Committee. Now, you have all of that information if you picked up some of the literature that's been placed around, but I want to present you something you may not have read if you didn't go through the length of it. Tommy has also worked locally directly on the Joint Water Pollution Control Plant and the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. I want you to marinate on that. This is not simply a man that has a bunch of appointments. This is a man who has put his hands to the till right here in the city of Carson. Board President Desi Alvarez said of former Director Harold C. Williams upon his resignation this past January, the board appreciates Director Williams' passion for maintaining and improving infrastructure and his commitment to public service. If the Association of California Water Agencies decided that Mr. Alvarez, and by proxy, the entire West Basin Municipal Water District's Board of Directors, most apropos and adroit reflection on Mr. Williams' nearly 20 years on the Board of Directors was such, then let me speak frankly about why Tommy Favai, according to that criteria, is the most important and appropriate man for the job. In scripture say, as spirit and in truth, no one outside of this room has probably put in more work on projects in the area than Tommy has. And with regards to his dedication to the community, I can tell you, as someone that is versed in helping out the community, Tommy's the real deal. Finally, I want to say this. I learned this a long time ago. Matthew 7:16, Jesus said, you'll know them by their fruits. There's a lot of talk and a lot of people that want to sell you a wolf ticket. Tommy's the real deal because his life is illustrated through the people that he has helped. And that's why this room is packed out today.
Pastor Strasser, thank you very much. That was very nice words you said about Tommy. And thank you for recognizing me as president, but I am past president. Our current
I am
president is Director Gray.
You see me sitting here? All right, Pastor.
But thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments.
All right. Next to speak, we will have Mr. Robert Nopal, followed by Mr. Ali Tweeney, and then Ms. Juanita Dopplemore.
You want me to go?
Good afternoon, Madam President and members of the board. My name is Rob Notoff. I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor, where we represent over 800,000 proud working women and men across the county, including every single union member inside this room today. We're to speak in strong support of Tommy Favai, like everybody else. You're going to hear numerous accolades, so it's really difficult to try to figure out something unique that hopefully nobody else says, but there's three basic things when it comes to Tommy. Number one, when we talk about who this person is, like when I think of Tommy, it's two words. It's integrity and it's family. It's like the way he's raised, the values that this man brings forward is what he leads with. He leads with his heart, and that's what you're always going to get. What you see is what you get. And again, like his family, his wife, his kids are what centers him in terms of who he is and the type of like world that he wants to bring forward. Second, in regards to to this district, Tommy has decades of experience in terms of infrastructure, in terms of understanding water, and is even on the cutting edge of terms of really trying to lead a charge for a green hydrogen hub right here in Southern California, which we know needs to be powered by clean water, an understanding of infrastructure and what's actually doable and what's not. Tommy's going to be able to tell you whether you can do this project or if it can't be done. But even more so than all of that, Tommy is somebody who is uniquely qualified to actually bridge the gap in terms of when we talk about infrastructure. We are in a jobs crisis here in Southern California. A number of people are struggling to try to make ends meet, keep a roof over their head, and put food on the table. And when we talk about infrastructure, that is an opportunity to actually address and solve that crisis. And there's a lot of people that can talk about it and read about it and write down how great it is. And then there's those who've actually done something about it, and that's who Tommy is. Tommy has actually taken people who have been incarcerated, who had no shot in life or didn't know what they were going to do, and put them to work, and it's transformed lives. Okay, taking somebody who actually didn't know what they're going to do. They are now have put kids through school and have moved on to a career. And that's, again, what boils back down to family and integrity. So that's, again, why we're speaking in strong support of Tommy Favai for the appointment to the district. Thank you so much.
Greetings to all. My name is Ali Tweeney. I'm Teamsters Local 2010, affiliated with Joint Council 42, one of the largest labor unions in the country. I am the past member of the Employment Training Panel for the state of California. I'm currently serving as the chair of CLUE, Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice. Greeting to you, Madam President and members of the board, members of the public, and special shout out to my brothers and sisters in the labor movement, especially to my sister, President Yvonne Wheeler, and all of our brothers and sisters here. I'm here speaking in behalf of Brother Tommy Favai. I know exactly what it means to create jobs and work with people and work with community. I heard from so many members in the community, being the chair of CLU, members of the clergy across the Los Angeles County spoke highly of Brother Tommy Fave, spoke highly of the need of creating jobs, and protecting our community. Because as union workers and as Teamsters in particular, we believe that we represent the areas that we work, we live in, not just the workers that we represent. So I urge all of you to please take in consideration appointing Brother Tommy Fave to this position. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam President and members of the board. My name is Juanita Dopplemore. I'm a resident of the city of Long Beach, and I'm also a Water Education for Latino Leaders Fellow this summer of 2024. I'm here today speaking on the behalf of Ms. Kelly Todd Griffin, and I'm asking that you consider her appointment to the West Basin Municipal Water District. Water is life. This precious commodity is essential to us all, whether you are a farmer, a corporation, or a member of our cities. Kelly Todd Griffin is a visionary leader with a proven track record of advocating for members of our community. Civically, she has the skill sets needed to continue this advocacy for the district and the state of California. Issues related to climate change, water conveyance, and quality requires creative, innovative, sustainable projects that will last and have an impact into our future for future generations. Again, I ask for your consideration in the appointment of Kelly Todd Griffin to the West Basin Municipal Water District. Thank you very much for your time today.
Choa, followed by Ms. Yolanda David, and Mr. Rafael Panetta. Mr. Ochoa? Okay, next, Ms. Yolanda David. David's son, okay.
Good afternoon, Board of Directors. My name is Yolanda Davidson. I'm an Inkwood resident, and I'm here to recommend Kelly Todd Griffin for the Director Seat 1. I am a graduate of her think tank from California Black Women's Collective at Cal State Dominguez Hills University around the corner. She is brilliant. There's no better candidate for this job. I'm sure.
Well, hello. Good to be here with you guys. Heard a lot of wonderful and amazing things but I'm here this afternoon on behalf of my brother, a great friend, a childhood friend of over 50 years, Tommy Fave. This is a man that I've seen over the years just develop into an amazing father. And I want to talk about the character of the man. The integrity that's in this man, because in order to fulfill anything lasting, anything meaningful, there has to be a strong home, there has to be a strong spouse. And even if you're not married, there still needs to be a certain thing about our lives as men and women. And so the city of Carson has been blessed by Tommy Fave. And it is an honor and a privilege to be here to represent him and talk about the amazing man that he is. And I've had the pleasure of knowing this man. And over the years, we've done community events together. We've seen each other in the course of that life. But knowing this, there is a verse in the Bible in Matthew 4:19. It says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." That concept also works within the circular realm because Tommy understands what it means to be relational, to be intentional, and to be missional. And I believe today he's sitting before you, West Basin Council Board, and he's sitting before you to fulfill that aspect, that third part of it, of being missional. Our city needs that. We need men and women that are willing to speak up when there are things that are not right about the district, the Water Basin District, because our community, we as the public are depending upon you to be honest and to be faithful, to be committed into what you're called to do. And I believe that seat that is void, if you would allow him to sit in that seat, fill that seat, you will see the great work of a father, a husband come forward, the integrity in this man. He's been my childhood friend. I'm a pastor today in the city of Carson, and I count it a privilege and honor. And I want to just ask you today that he brings with him a lifetime of trust and reliability, but also he understands the importance of stewardship. And oftentimes that's missing in our leadership. We think about stewardship, but can we walk it out? And I believe my dear friend would be a wonderful person that would fulfill that ability to wisely steward that position that if you would appoint him. And so we thank you. I thank you for the opportunity to speak on his behalf. Thank you.
You can unmute Ms. Gill.
Hello.
Hello, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Glenda Gill, and I am calling on behalf of Kelly Todd Griffin, who is an old friend, a colleague, a pillar of the community. Kelly is been growing the California Black Women's Collective for the last 2 to 3 years. She has worked in the private sector. She has worked in corporations. She has worked in the medical field. She is a proven leader with a deep commitment to equity, sustainability, and community advocacy. And I think it makes her an ideal candidate for the West Basin Municipal Water District Board. Her extensive experience in public policy, strategic engagement, and leadership ensures she will champion water conservation, infrastructure improvements, and equitable access to safe and reliable water for all communities. Kelly has built a community from Northern California all the way to Southern California, and she is ensuring that our citizens, our young women, and our young ladies of our community are healthy, whole, and free. And so I would commit that Kelly would be an excellent asset to this board.
Thank you.
Madam President, that concludes the received requests for public comment, as well as all of the hands that were raised virtually. I would ask one last time if there's any member of the public that would like to speak. Now would be the time to do so. Sure, if you could give us your name.
Yes, my name is Candy Lewis.
Adam, if you could wait one moment, and we'll call on you next.
Good afternoon. My name is Candy Lewis.
Is she
Hello?
muted or is she open?
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Lewis. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Candy Lewis, and I am calling on behalf of Kelly Todd. She is an amazing person. She is a global citizen. She is an advocate. She has brought in $5 million for the first ever think tank in the state of California. And with her background in community advocacy as well as awareness, she would be the most ideal candidate because she reaches across the board and can work with anyone, whether they are in public, nonprofit, governmental, policy and advocacy. She would be the best benefit for the West Basin Water Authority for Carson. Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
If
Hello?
you could give us your name and then begin.
Thank you. My name is Regina Brown Wilson, and I am actually calling in for Miss Kelly Todd Griffin. I just wanted to say that I would encourage the board to consider Ms. Todd Griffin for all the reasons that everyone has stated earlier. I understand how public meetings are, and I know you want to get into those decisions, but just a quick note, Kelly has been a leader in everything that she does. She convenes and brings people together who don't want to talk to each other most of the time. I always say that if she can wrangle women together, I think that she will be able to tackle some of the most toughest challenges that we face in California. And being on or being appointed to one of the board of directors for the West Basin Municipal Water District, I think that she would provide the necessary balance in helping to make decisions. Her policy ability, her acumen to look at data and come up with policy solutions that are backed with data, I think that would make her an excellent candidate in addition to your board. Thank you.
Sure.
Mr.
Hi, my name is Junior Pomali. I didn't realize it was this big of a deal. I'll make it quick. I just, when it comes to Tommy 5i, it's pretty easy to speak on this guy. I'm 14 years ago, I'm a recovering addict, drug addict, and alcoholic. And 14 years sober this year. I'm sorry, 13 years sober.
Yeah.
I had a very, very big, important part to play in that recovery. Today, I'm a father. I'm a happily married man to a wife for over 25 years, and my sons have gone to college, come back, and they're serving in the community today, giving back as teachers. One's in the actual fire academy today. God willing, he'll graduate in May. These are the kind of things that are happening in my life because I have an example like Tommy 5i. I grew up with Tommy close to 50 years, and I can tell you firsthand, as a leader, as a mentor, and as a guy that cares about whether he's in a boardroom like this or on the street dealing with just regular guys, there's not one negative bone in this guy's body. And I know that firsthand. Growing up in and out of jail and coming and going through struggles and to be able to get pulled out of these situations because of men like this, Carson and the Harbor area are better for having guys like this. And I can say that firsthand. Tommy may not be your guy, and hopefully who knows what the vote will be at the end of this, but he's definitely my guy. And I represent a lot of people that love him the same way. I'm not here in the capacity of I'm also an IOW executive board member. And because of his encouragement throughout the years, I've been able to run and been successful. But I'm here in the capacity of a loving brother, a loving family member, and a loving friend, and somebody that appreciates what he does on the streets of the Harbor area. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm Janie Noah. Thank you, board, for letting me give me the time to speak, but I'm here to support Tommy 5i. I've known Tommy for more than 50 years, but I just want to speak recently on what we've been working together in the last 4 years. I'm a park director for the city of Carson, and I've been with the city of Carson for like 36 years. I worked with multiple community members and volunteers to help support programs in the city of Carson. But Tommy stands out to me because he is really bringing many communities come together, businesses as well, and groups to come and support a program that the city of Carson has run that I oversee right now currently, which is the Samoan Heritage Festival event. And he has been a great organizer and community development person that really brings community together to kind of give us ideas of how to expand our program and to really reach out to the community to share our special event in terms of our culture. But I'm just thankful to support Tommy, and I think he'd be a great asset to this board. So thank you for the opportunity.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the board, as well as Madam President, I would like to speak on behalf of my brother, Tommy Favai. And as a testament to a lot of the things that people were saying up here as a lifelong Carson resident, as well as an IBW member. Before I actually got into the program, I was washing dishes in a restaurant down in San Pedro where I met Tommy. And he's been very, I know it's kind of choking me up to say this right now, but almost like as a father figure as well to a lot of the brothers in IBW that we've been able to see him walk in the footsteps and take great leaps forward in the community and be a great stepping stone to see how much he's been able to push forward for projects and being able to bring members ahead. Like me, I wasn't able to afford college either. I was on the lower end as a, I wouldn't say middle class yet, but through the help of Tommy and a lot of the other brothers and sisters in the community, has been able to make a path forward as a resident to be able to get into the middle class and be able to, you know, push myself forward and make something of myself. I've been a foreman now for over 5 years for well, technician and all that. I can say that this man has been a large part in that. So I just like to, you know, say that for my brother Tommy.
One more.
Yeah, my name is Steve Grajeda.
Steve
Grajeda,
Grajeda.
Grageda. Out there, Steve. Excuse me, I just got off work. We get off at 3, but I heard this started at 2:30. I told my boss I gotta leave. Something came up more important. I said, that's what I gotta do. And they could have told me at 8:30 in the morning and I would have left work, you know, missed the day for Tommy because I got on this union in 2019 after doing 15 years in prison. And who did I get to meet? Tommy. You know, you would think it would end there. He helped organize me in, but we've been friends since. We must have volunteered at food banks over 30 times during the pandemic. And it just keeps getting better. So when I was told he was going to be here today, I wanted to be here. And even though we're the same age, I look up to him because he's someone I'm trying to be. You know, thank you.
I believe that concludes our public comment period.
I believe so, Madam President.
All right, thank you. Thank you all for all your comments today. Obviously, this particular day is very important to the public, and so thank you very much for all of you coming to make comment. We will move to the next item, and that is presentation. And that item is recognition of Harold Williams, former Division I Director of West Basin.
He's not here.
I know that, but we're recognizing him. Right. Most of you, if not all of you, know that this is still Black History Month. And so Black history is all about, you know, recognizing the legacy and African American history, but it's also, I believe, about recognizing those heroes and sheroes we have among us. And so on this board, we had Director Harold Williams for many years. And so he retired, I believe, in December of last year. And so we thought it would be very befitting to recognize him during Black History Month. And so with that, he's not able to be here, but we are still going to recognize him. And so with that, I have a proclamation that I'd like to read on behalf of the board. And it says, West Basin Municipal Water District Proclamation, Harold C. Williams, February 26, 2025. Whereas Harold C. Williams was elected in November 2014 to the West Basin Municipal Water District Board of Directors and has proudly served the Division I cities of Carson, Palos Verdes Estates, Rancho Palos Verdes, Rolling Hills Estates, as well as the unincorporated Los Angeles County area of Rancho Dominguez for over 10 years. 10 years. He served on this board, over 10 years. Excuse me. And whereas Harold C. Williams demonstrated his leadership as chair of the Public Information and Education Committee and vice president of the board, also having served as president in 2021. And as a former member of the board for the National Water Research Institute and the Cal DSAL Executive Committee, he was appointed by his colleagues to serve as one of the 2 West Basin representatives on the Metropolitan Water District Board of Directors of Southern California. And I was the other one that served with Harold on the Metropolitan Board, and he served with distinction. Whereas Harold C. Williams was elected to the Carson City Council in November 2004, as a longtime Carson resident and community leader, he has held numerous leadership positions in various civic organizations and served on different city commissions. And whereas Harold C. Williams is a California registered civil engineer. He was the only engineer on our board, and he is retired. Director Alvarez is a civil engineer, so we had 2 of them on our board when Director Alvarez came in. Director Williams as a professional career person spanning nearly 50 years, he is an active member of his professional community, having served as president of the American Public Works Association of Southern California, president of the City and County Engineers Association, and treasurer of the Los Angeles Council of Black Professional Engineers. And whereas Harold C. Williams has a long list of accolades in recognition of his leadership and accomplishments, which includes the Carson Chamber of Commerce Leadership Carson, Los Angeles County Democratic Party's Male Democrat of the Year 2002, Distinguished Toastmaster Award for Communication and Leadership, American Public Works Association, Southern California Chapter's 2015 Top Elected Official Award, and elected chair of the 64th Assembly District Delegation of the Los Angeles County Democratic Party. He has been very, very busy. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed on this, the 26th of February, 2025, that we, the directors of West Basin Municipal Water District, hereby recognize and thank sincerely Harold C. Williams for his dedication and years of service to the district, and wish him much happiness and success in his future endeavors. So let's give him a round of applause. Director Williams. Thank you very much for participating. Yes, in comments, please. Thank you, Director Alvarez.
I first met Director Williams a long time ago, the Director of Public Works for the city of Linwood. And I got to know him well at that time. As a consulting engineer then, I got to work with him on a major project to redo their water system because of the impacts of the 105 freeway, which basically cut the city in half. And over the years, I had the pleasure of serving on many committees and organizations with Harold. And he's been an outstanding example and model for me. I truly am going to miss him being on this board. A lot of the reason for my being on this board is encouragement of me to run for the Division 3 seat and his support. He is a terrific gentleman, a very proud man, and has achieved a lot, and basically bootstrapped himself up through the ranks. He didn't go through the traditional approach for engineering, but he is a registered engineer. He's worked for many organizations and just an outstanding gentleman. I know I'll still be able to see him and talk to him, but I will miss his fellowship on this board, and just want to congratulate him for everything he's done. He's a terrific man.
Thank you. Director Deere.
Director Williams is a Manual Arts High School graduate. He worked his way up from working class family, got the education, went on to great things. He was Public Works Director of Gardena when I was Mayor of Gardena. He was Director of other cities too, as has been alluded to. Harold was a tremendous active person, Democratic clubs locally and so on. But he also was a tremendous asset to this board, his background and wisdom. And we really are going to truly miss him because he's a great board member. Thank you.
Thank you.
A couple of things, and one of them, I think it's bittersweet, of course, that we're here today, because as you heard, we all worked with Director Williams over all these years, and we truly revered his service, his commitment. Actually, him and I were elected the same year, so back in 2014. So we were the quote new guys on the board at that time. And yes, him being an engineer, he brought that level of expertise to this board because it's a very diverse group of people here. We represent diverse communities, and he had an extremely distinguished career, especially as an African-American man, who worked his way up as an engineer, and to be a public works director at a number of cities in our service area and our neighboring service areas. It truly was, he was groundbreaking, right? But that being said, he brought a lot to the board. Definitely miss his service. He completely represented, of course, the city of Carson, but also was very active on the Palos Verdes Peninsula too. And he was out in his communities, just like each of us is out in our communities. So it's an extremely important role. This is a wonderful water district. I think we're one of the best run water districts in the state of California. We're so proud to have Harold, Director Williams, to be our partner with us. And so we do wish him all the best. But personally, I was very grateful to serve with him all these years and had known him prior. And we were both blessed to get elected that year. And we're going to miss him on the board. So thanks. And thanks to all of you for being here as we look at that seat. Thanks so much.
I believe, I don't know if it's Director Alvarez or myself who have known Harold the longest. I've known Harold when he was working for LA City as a dressman, I believe, before he
A little bit before I met
Yeah,
him.
so Harold is more than a colleague on this board to me. He's been a friend for years, and you've heard this board members talk about him, and you can see we're like a family because we are unique in our own ways, and this board is very diverse. We do represent the community, right? And so, Harold is unique and what I remember about him that makes him unique is that he has heart, and we all have heart in a certain way that we express it. But he would always tell us stories on this board, if you remember, when our deliberations and items, he would tell us a story. And I'd say, John, smiling because you probably heard him, because it kind of reflects on his experiences, right? His journey, about what he's, gone through as struggling to be an engineer and being an African-American man, real, and all the things he faced to achieve what he achieved. And he did extremely well. I think that he probably has been the public works director at least 10 or 15 cities. I know Inglewood won. He was in Inglewood, so he was the trailblazer. He really was, as someone has mentioned. But when I served with him at the Metropolitan Board, and as you know, Metropolitan is a huge board, right? But Harold was the best partner I could have on that board because he was steadfast. He had great integrity, and he was completely committed to his constituency. He really was. And so I will miss him. He's still here. I mean, I talked to him a few days ago, and I know Director Alvarez talked to me, and he's just not able to be here today, but we wish him well in what he's doing. But he has been a tremendous asset to this board, and not only to the board, but to the water industry. We talk about him, but he has made quite a difference in the water industry because people do know Harold Williams. So thank you very much for being here and participating in our acknowledgement of him. Thank you. Fine. And so I'm going to ask the General Manager, Mr. Caldwell, to introduce that item, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair. Item 5.1 is a discussion and possible selection of Division I Director and adoption of resolution number 02251221, a resolution appointing a Director of Division I of West Basin Municipal Water District, or adoption of resolution number 02251222, a resolution calling for an election for Director of Division I of West Basin Municipal Water District. Madam President, as you mentioned, Director Williams notified us of his intention to vacate his seat towards the end of 2024. He did submit a resignation that was effective of the first week of January. As such, this process began at the very earliest part of January. Notification of this vacancy was sent to the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, the Los Angeles County Registrar Recorder and Clerk's Office, and posted at the district headquarters and West Basin website, posted at the City Clerk's Office of the cities of Carson, Rolling Hills Estates, Palos Verdes Estates, and Rancho Palos Verdes. An ad hoc committee was appointed consisting of President Gloria Gray and Director Don Deere to review all applications. The district requested letters of interest and a resume to be submitted by February 7th, 2025. The district received 8 applications, and the ad hoc committee reviewed the letters of interest and conducted interviews on February 13th, 2025. A consistent set of questions was asked of each candidate, focusing on desirable qualifications stated in the letter announcing the vacancy. The ad hoc committee recommended the board interview 4 candidates, and those 4 candidates are joining us here today. What we've asked of each of the candidates was to reflect on their response to the first question of those interviews. That question was, please tell us about yourself, your qualifications, and why you want to serve on the West Basin Municipal Water District Board of Directors. The candidates have been organized, and we're going to begin and go just straight down the aisle. Each candidate will be provided 3 minutes. And then, of course, at the conclusion, any board member, if they have any specific questions of any specific candidate, are free to do so. So with that, we'll begin with Mr. John Cruikshank, who will respond to that question, and I'll repeat it again. Please tell us about yourself, your qualifications, and why you want to serve on the West Basin Municipal Water District Board of Directors.
Well, thank you very much, Madam President, Board of Directors. Thank you so much for having all 4 of us here today. It's quite an honor to be considered to replace Harold Williams, Director Harold Williams. I had the pleasure of actually knowing Director Williams since 1990, and I saw much of his career. And you're right, anecdotally, he would talk about all the great accomplishments, but he did it by one handshake at a time, really. So My name is John Kerchank. I'm a third generation Southern Californian. I actually grew up in the city of El Segundo, born in the city of Inglewood. And I know how important water is to the entire West Basin. Having served for the last 2 terms or 8 years as both city council member and mayor of Rancho Palos Verdes, we have many issues that are unique to this board because of the isolation of the Palos Verdes Peninsula. I think the board, and I'll get more in specifics there, but so my background also, I've run my own civil engineering company since 1996. I'm a licensed civil engineer, and my practice does involve infrastructure. We do hundreds of projects every year in and around the South Bay. So my knowledge of infrastructure is fairly vast. I think it's important, you know, I appreciate all the support that was brought for one of the candidates today. And honestly, I think the world of Tommy as well. He's a great guy, and I've gotten to know him a bit as I was president of the Harbor Association and other organizations. But I think it's important that you understand that District 1 actually encompasses not just the great city of Carson, but also the cities of Rolling Hills Estates, Rancho Palos Verdes, and Palos Verdes Estates, along with the unincorporated areas. And these areas are very unique. Before I came to you today, I took the opportunity to speak to the mayors of all 5 of those cities to ask them what their issues were, because I think one of the biggest reasons for the board to be representing the people of the West Basin is that we represent the people that live in these areas. For instance, the city of Carson is very interested in reclaimed and recycled water and community outreach. And I can tell you on the 4 cities of the Palos Verdes Peninsula, we have a number of water issues. I spent the last year dealing with a landslide, the largest landslide in North America. Right now, they're pumping out 1 million gallons of water a day, and that goes right to the ocean. So what an amazing opportunity to actually reclaim that water. So there's a lot of innovative things I think the board could be doing. I want to help the board do that. And I want to take my experience as an engineer and as an elected official to help make that happen. There's a lot of things I could talk about today in 3 minutes. I'm probably at 0 at this point.
Thank you, John.
So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you.
Next up, we'll have Mr. Tommy Lefebvre.
Tommy. Oh.
Before I start my comments, I just wanted to pay homage and respect to the vacant seat, Harold Williams, for serving, in public service for decades and decades here in Carson. And I can tell you, true friend, working with him closely in the city of Carson and all of the nonprofit organizations that he's been involved with. So I just wanted to say that. Good afternoon, members of the West Basin Board of Directors. My name is Tommy Favai, and I appreciate the opportunity to address you today. I want to commend the board and the entire West Basin Municipal Water District for your unwavering commitment to water reliability, conservation, and sustainability. Your leadership is diversifying water sources and investing in cutting-edge recycling technology has been instrumental in securing a reliable water future for our communities. As we continue to face growing challenges from climate change and population growth to prolonged drought, it is critical that we build upon the successes. West Basin's water recycling efforts, particularly through the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility, set a national benchmark. Producing 5 types of recycled water exemplifies the kind of innovation needed to maximize every drop. Expanding these efforts and increasing community access to recycled water will be key to strengthening our local supply. Additionally, West Basin plays a vital role in groundwater protection through its seawater intrusion barriers. Maintaining and enhancing these systems is essential to safeguarding our underground resources for generations to come. I encourage the board to continue prioritizing critical infrastructure projects while exploring new opportunities to enhance regional water security. Beyond infrastructure, community education and engagement are just as vital. Water conservation programs, rebates, and partnerships empower residents and businesses to take an active role in sustainability. Strengthening these initiatives will foster a culture of water stewardship that benefits everyone. I am especially committed to expanding water conservation education, not just for youth, but for all of the members of the community. As we prepare for future years of drought and economic austerity, we must ensure that everyone understands significance of conservation and the power of collective action in securing our water future. Equally important, the district's responsibility to fiscally prudent and managing taxpayer resources and ensuring that ratepayers receive the most sustainable and cost-effective water solutions.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Stephen Randall.
Good afternoon. Honor and respect to the board president, also to the directors, also to staff, also to my colleagues here at this panel, and also to Human as well. My name is Stephen Randall. I am a Carson resident. I graduated from Cal State Dominguez Hills with a degree in business administration and a master's in public administration. I feel that water is crucial and critical, not only to our survival, but also for the betterment of our communities. I would really focus, the new wave right now is artificial intelligence, doubling down on our resources and commitment to R&D, which is research and development. I have over 30 years of public sector experience in water management, fighting Legionella in many different facilities and buildings, making sure that water is safe and clean. In addition to that, I've served on the alumni board for the California State Dominguez Hills Public Administrators. Also was the 2019 Democrat of the Year. Also served in other capacities throughout my community. What caused me, when I was very young, I asked one of my friends, who was your favorite president? And they said John F. Kennedy. So ever since that time, I really had a desire to serve, to make a commitment and dedicate myself to public service. There's a song that I liked, and it says that if I can help someone along the way, if I can cheer someone with a word or song, if I can do my duty as I should, then my living will not be in vain. So I take hope to that, and that's the reason why I'm acting and wanting to be a part of this board. I think I can enhance it. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Ms. Kelly Todd Griffin.
All right, last but not least, I want to say, all right, as the only female also on panel, out of the three, I'll get that second. Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Board of Directors. And
Kelly, you need to get your glasses.
No, I don't. I can't see.
Okay.
I can't see with them on. I can see far. I just can't read them. Thank you, though. Thank you, Board of Directors, and thank you, staff. This has been a wonderful process to go through. I am from Carson. I grew up in Carson. I went to Catskill Elementary School. I played at Scotts Park. I lived in Scottsdale when I was a little girl, so I know Carson. I recognize that we have 90,000 people in Carson, but we also have 60,000 people in the other areas that represent the Division I. So I'm very proud to serve as a Carson Commission I am a Commissioner of Public Works of the City of Carson. And I also run my own nonprofit organization called California Black Women's Collective Empowerment Institute. And it is the nation's first and only think tank exclusively focused on Black women and girls. We got that through securing $5 million from the state to start it at Cal State Dominguez. My career spans 30 years, and I have been honored to work for Karen Bass. I've been honored to work for American Honda in Torrance, representing them nationally. I've been honored to work in healthcare for over 15 years, working in highly regulated Medi-Cal. And I've worked in 31 counties in the state of California. My proudest work, though, is helping Black women get elected to public office, and I will always do that. I applied for this appointment because I wanted to serve and I understand the importance of water supply. And the reason I understand the importance of water supply, because I was a consultant on a new project in California where we were going to build a new city in Solano County. Private investors, they purchased 65,000 acres, and we were going to build for 400,000 people. And the people in Solano said, where are you going to get the water from? And we had to really think carefully and work with the city, work with the county, and work with the state to determine kind of what the water use is and distributing the water from. And I was the consultant that brought together both the city, the community, and the faith leaders. And from there, we moved into trying to figure out how to ease some of the public tension. Oh, I only have 8 minutes. Anyway, thank you for allowing me to be here. I am someone who really is passionate about the community, particularly the community of Carson. And I look forward to your decision.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. And now I'll open it up to the board. If any board member has questions, please speak up. No questions.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
would it be appropriate to make a motion?
If no board members have questions or any comments or anything, okay. Then the next would be, did you have?
I would move that we appoint Tommy Laval to the board.
On that? Your discussion on this?
Yeah, I can discuss. I think that we've gone through qualifications more than once, you and I, in our subcommittee meetings, as well as this meeting. There's no doubt that all 4 candidates are outstanding, absolutely outstanding, and well qualified. Tommy has strong support from the community. He has a strong labor background, which I share. I've been a local 250 guy when I put me through college, and it's just that his Democratic background, which this whole board has too. So we have a lot in common, and I feel that I look forward to working with him on the board. That's all I have.
Let me say, it has been quite an experience to go through the process that you've heard the general manager explain. Candidly, I wasn't sure how many people would actually apply for the appointment. And I was pleasantly surprised that we had 8 candidates, and all the candidates were great. I mean, they were outstanding. We had a diversity of folks who had applied, civil engineers and CPAs and women. We had 2 women that applied with great experience. You heard Ms. Griffin talk to today, and her experience. And we had another lady who applied, and others, and of course, labor represented, obviously. But it was great to know that there was a diversity of people interested in serving on this board. I think for me, it just tells folks how important water is. Tells me. And, when you think about it, how important water is, especially with, the fires that happen, in those areas, and climate control, climate what's happening in the climate and everything in water, water conservation, recycle water. You've heard all of these things, right? But people are listening. I think that's what it said to me. And to have so many, I think, that had diverse backgrounds to be interested, I thought we were blessed for Don and I to have the ability, opportunity to listen to everybody. And so I'm grateful to all of you. The four that are not here, after this process is over, I plan on calling each and every one and saying, thank you. Because, I think it's just so important to acknowledge that folks are interested in serving not only as a public servant, but the interest of water. And so we thank all of you, whatever happens up here. We're grateful for you and hope that all of you will continue to be engaged. There's still a lot to do rather than just serving on this board. We have other activities and programs that we volunteer for and because water is crucial. You cannot think that it always will be there. Always. You cannot believe that. There's a lot that happens behind the water coming out of your faucet. Infrastructure, water quality, all kinds of things.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I think it's just nicer for you to Lisa too, because she can post it as soon as I give her my.
Who's that?
well, I hope that person is listening. Great. And I want to thank all of you for being here because it's important for the community to be engaged. But it was a very hard decision to move 4 out of the 8. We could have moved all 8 because everybody was qualified. But I again, thank you for applying and wanting to lend your skills to serving on the board. But remember, we still need you. So please stay engaged. So with that, if there's no further comments, then any further comments on the board? Director Alvarez?
I'd like to thank all of the candidates who submitted an interest in the position because, as you mentioned, President Gray, we did have 8 interested parties, and in reviewing their background, they're all excellently qualified, and bring a very broad range of skills from their respective areas of expertise to this board. I do want to recognize that the city of Carson has been well served over the years, but that a lot of the work of this division is also on the peninsula. And the cities of Rancho Palos Verdes and Rolling Hills and Palos Verdes Estates all submitted letters in support of Mr. Cruikshank to represent them. And I think that he's very highly. So I'd like to make a substitute motion that we consider the appointment of John Cruikshank.
I'll second that motion just for conversation.
Madam Chair, was the first motion seconded?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
But we have to consider.
I didn't
this
hear that.
substitute for Frenchco.
So if you're President.
Yeah, just for discussion, so.
We have a first and a second, so that's the motion that's on the table right now for discussion.
Any discussion on that? Right, call the roll.
Director Desi Alvarez?
Yes. Before you call the roll, I do want to make some comment. I appreciate you saying that because I believe anyone who's selected will represent the entire district because that is what Harold did. Whoever is selected, that's exactly what Harold did. He came from Carson, and we know Carson is well represented here, but he represented his entire district. And so I believe that whoever is selected will do that, whether it's from Carson or from the PV. And that's why I second it. So I just want to say that. All right, call the roll.
Director Desi Alvarez?
Yes.
Director Scott Houston? Director Don Deere?
No.
President Gloria Gray?
No. Okay, the substitute fell. So now we would go to the original motion. And so no further comment on the original motion?
May I make a comment?
Sure.
Sure. And I just also, well, I think everyone said everything that we all feel. We did have a great group of candidates. You know, a vacancy like this does not come very often on this particular water district. Actually, it hasn't happened in 10 years when my predecessor had resigned early, Director Little. So, you know, most of us have never been through this experience before, but I want to say thank you to everybody that put your information in, put your hat in the ring. Of course, you know, Director Gray and Director Gear were the ones that we assigned this task force to go through and interview everybody because, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into the water district, let alone those of us who sit in these chairs. But you all are excellent candidates. Thank you so much for the interest that was expressed across this region, because I personally think that unfortunately the water districts do not usually get the attention they deserve. We are doing very, very important work. And we really need the community to be engaged with us, understand what we're doing, and of course, you know, make sure that they are talking to us as much as we talk to them. But that being said, you know, I actually, of course, I know John for many, many years, and I know Tommy for many, many years. And so that puts me in a very difficult position personally, because I respect you both immensely. Of course, I will be supporting Tommy for this. But the other thing that was mentioned is, yes, you know, Director Williams represented Carson very well. I think Tommy will, of course, represent Carson very well. But no one will forget the Palos Verdes Peninsula. You know, Director Williams was up there a lot, as he should be. And I expect that whomever was in that role would do the same thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you represent the constituents of the full district, you know, in that division. And so, and to our link to the board and the representation up here, again, whoever was in that position, whether it was appointed or elected. So I think we each do that, you know, very seriously in our roles. But that being said, you know, it's not an easy decision, but I do support Tommy, and you know, that's how I'll be voting. But also thank you, John, for putting your hat in the ring as well, and all your service to the peninsula, as well as the work you'll continue to do. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. You can see it's very difficult. This decision is very difficult because not only John, but Tommy and Stephen and Kelly and all the other four. So it's not an easy decision. So because we respect all of you and your experience that you bring to the table. And so with that, we will call the roll, please.
Yes, Madam President, I should have clarified. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. The motion on the floor, which was seconded, was for the appointment of Mr. Tommy Pavai, which would also entail the adoption of resolution number 02251221. A resolution is required with this action. So I'll roll call. Director.
Resolution regarding the appointment, right?
Correct.
That's the one you're making. Okay, great.
Director Desi Alvarez.
Yes.
Director Scott Houston.
Yes.
Director Don Deere.
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. Start the meeting, but thank you very much. I understand the excitement. I'm a union member for 40 some years. I shouldn't tell you that, you should know my age, but years, but thank you, but
Gloria,
yeah.
where are we right now?
Well, let me finish my comment. I said so, but I really want to thank you guys, everyone here for coming, and for all your commitment to wanting to serve on this board. And the next item, I guess, this was extremely difficult, but a good decision. Welcome, Tommy. I want to welcome you to the board. And we will, you're officially appointed because the board voted for you to be on the board. So I don't know what Don is saying.
He has to be sworn in.
I know it has to be sworn in, but.
We should do it right now.
Yeah, so we want to do the swearing in before we do the rest of the agenda.
Yep, what's up to you? It could be.
Let's finish the agenda. We are going to finish the agenda, and then we will swear him in. Stephen, do you have to leave? Yes. I want to shake your hand. Sit down. I want you to just will finish the meeting, this is still a meeting. And then we will swear him in, okay? So let's go to the next item. The next item is the information calendar, no items, no closed session, correct? Okay, director's comments? No comments? No.
I do have, I would just like to thank Ms. Griffin and Mr. Randall and Mr. Coshain. And obviously Mr. Fave, but you would be around for a while. But thank you very much for your interest in the position. I think you're very well qualified. I very much appreciated reading about your background and listening to you today. And thank you very much for being here.
We got your resumes on file, so I won't repeat what it said, but I agree. But don't believe, seriously, we're gonna close the meeting. I do want to talk to each and every one. So with that, we are adjourned. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for being here.